Don't need to say anything else.
Good morning, gentlemen. I thought it'd be quite a dramatic way to introduce everybody on the video. So welcome, Paul. Welcome, Steve. Really looking forward to chatting to you and finding out a bit more about what's going to be happening at Surrey Sports Park on the 6th of July with the Business in Surrey big networking event. Now, obviously, there was one, what we've seen is some images from the previous event back in January. God, I can't believe it was that long ago. So it's obviously successful. Tell us about what happened and what to expect going forward, Steve.
Oh, well, thanks, Alan. Yeah, it was a big success in January, and we're pleased to be hosting it again. We're tweaking a few things, but to be honest, it was the feedback from last time was that good that we've kept this sort of very similar format.
Great stuff. Great stuff. So what sort of things are we going to be doing this time around, Paul?
Well, one of the things about Business in Surrey and all the things we do, whether that's the expo, whether that's our networking, whether it's our conference, they're collaborative. And one of the things that makes this special is that it brings together many different networks. So quite often someone will belong to a network, maybe two networks, and they might meet those people once a week, once a month. This is quite unique because you get, I think we've got 15 different networks joining us for the day with their people. So it's a huge collection of people and a whole load of people who probably have never networked before. When we had the event back in January, nearly half the people who came hadn't been regular networkers. So you also get new people. So it's this collection of people, and basically what they do, they get the chance to try different kinds of networking. So there's several different activities. It's like a carousel of activities. So you get the chance to try traditional networking, speed networking, roundtable networking, even network with a sort of activity involved as well, and then informal networking too. So by the end of it, they will have met an awful lot of people, and they will have also tried some different types of ways of networking.
Yeah, it sounds really, really good. And it's great, Steve, to see networking groups collaborating. You often think, well, networking groups, I don't want to tell people about other people's networking groups because they might go and leave and go and join that networking group. But it's really good to see so many different groups collaborating together.
Yeah, it really is, Alan. It's quite refreshing. We've got 15, as Paul mentioned, very collaborative networking groups they're all very different. I can give them a quick shout. We've got Buzz Business, we've got Connect Surrey, we've got the Corporate Escape Club, Fabulous Networking, Federation Small Business, First Friday Network, and we've also got Guildford Hub, LinkedIn Local, Network My Club, Omni Local, Ribbons, Surrey Chambers, Surrey Charity Network, Surrey Event Professionals, and Zuko. So and they're all very different as well.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Well, I'll be there with the hub and talking about what people can get out of the hub, but also encouraging them to network widely in the rooms, because it is. You know me, I'm Mr. LinkedIn. I'm always on LinkedIn. I'm promoting LinkedIn, but for me, LinkedIn is what you do when you don't go face-to-face networking. Face-to-face networking to me is how you build relationships the most effective and fastest way possible. So I'm really looking forward to the event again. What sort of numbers are we expecting this time around?
I think last time we had 110 people come up. That was our inaugural event, and our sort of post-event survey, 98% of the people said they plan to come back. Now, we're already, I think, at 60 booked on and booked their tickets. And on LinkedIn events, we've got about 130, I think 132 last count. So we're in excess of 100. And I think one of the nice things about our event is with networking, and we're all advocates of networking. You have your regular people you build relationships with, and you support, recommend, and work, collaborate with each other. What this does is it allows that, but it also allows you to meet new people. So it's sort of doing a bit of everything. So there's so many people. If you can, the total over that 3-hour period is quite unique.
Yeah, I thought I'd share a few of the pictures that we had, and some of the a picture and some testimonials from attendees last time around. So I'll just put that up on screen now. So here's Steve doing the opening address to the audience at the start of the session. And then we had some really, oops, I've lost the screen share there. Let me go back to get the screen share again. Sorry about that. That's the trouble with doing things live. You never know what's going to happen if you click
the pictures will show, the pictures will show, though, Alan, as we're looking at those, is different people enjoy networking in different ways. So we have speed networking, which some people absolutely love, and some people kept going back into the speed networking, which is very fast and furious. There are others who would rather get to know somebody, have a bit of a quieter conversation in a smaller group, and our round table working allows for that. So it's structured, but it's more comfortable for some people. And then other people would prefer just to have just the open room networking, where they can move around with a cup of coffee and chat to people either in ones and twos or small groups. So there is something there for everybody. And so one of the interesting things I found, I don't know about you, Steve, was the amount of new people who found us through the marketing and wanted to network, but had never really had the confidence or knew how to start. And this was a perfect starting point. So they were to come in, meet people, and just try those different things and work out what was best for them.
That's right. We sent out an anonymous poll, exit poll as such, at the end of it, and we had 48% of people were either new to networking or basically had sort of dabbled in it, maybe a member of one group. So that's quite a high proportion, and a lot of people wanted to, who don't, maybe a bit worried about going to other networking groups, come to our one just to experience what it is like and then to see what it's out there. We had quite a few new businesses as well turn up that actually wanted to just see what, because all the networking groups there that are part of it, all the 15 of them, have a little stand. So the people who run those groups are there. So you can find out that if evening's better for you, you go to this group, or if morning's better, you go to another group. Then we have networking groups that operate weekly, fortnightly, monthly, all different types, venues and across the day. Yeah. So they were able to do their research in one place and expand their network.
Yeah, and we've also got a couple of 2 or 3 groups that are sort of niche in what they look at. So, for example, we've got the Surrey Charity Network there, which is a networking group for people in charities in Surrey. So, the people that are interested in that are obviously interested in either supporting charities, or they come from charities and need help. And that in itself is a very collective and cooperative sort of network, isn't it, Paul?
It is, Alan. And one of the things, there's a misconception sometimes about charity professionals coming to networking. And that is, gosh, they're just going to come and ask me for money or for me to sponsor an event. And the reality is most charities are run that quite rightly, their job is to look after the clients they support, but behind the scenes they operate in a very business-like fashion, and they still need printing, and they still need training for their staff, and they still need products and services. And those people are it's a joy to work with them. They're a fabulous collaborative bunch, and they really add value. One of the things I love about our event. And I saw last time, sometimes you find particular networking groups will attract, quite rightly, particular groups of people, whether that's a group for SMEs or sole traders, or a group for corporates, or a group for creative arts. And what ours does is it throws everybody in. So you do meet sole traders, you do meet some larger corporates, you meet professional services. So you get a real mixed bag of people, but they're all there with good intent and there to network.
Yeah, just going back on your point about charities needing services. I'm as you both know, I'm a Samaritan, part of the leadership team at the local branch, and through networking, I've been able to source branded chocolate bars with each Samaritan's name on it for Volunteers Week a couple of years ago. I've been able to source signage. We need our signage changed. I've been able to source somebody to produce our signage for us. I've been able to source some help with advertising locally for recruitment. I've been able to source some more. We've got an anniversary coming up, and so we're trying to source some stuff for that. So all of that's come through networking and through putting the charity out there in the various networks alongside the other things that I do. So it's really important to realise that, and I'm glad you made that point, Steve, Paul. And Steve, another sort of vertical that a network that comes along is one that you run, Surrey Event Professionals.
Absolutely, yeah. So again, there is an eclectic mix there. My one is Surrey Event Professionals is the name, but it's a networking group for event, wedding, and venue businesses across Surrey. So again, another focused networking group. But to Paul's point also about the charities, they are great networkers. They're one of the best at networking, and the amount of referrals they give outside the group as well. If they're chatting to people in the networking group, I need trouble with my social media or website. Oh, you need to speak to whoever, who they met at another networking group. They're really good at networking as well. But yeah, as I say, there's specialist networking groups like the charity network and the event professionals. It's such a broad mix that we've got there, and that's what's exciting about it. And I'm really pleased that they're all on board. They all promote it. They're all very keen. They'll all be there. And actually, we try and promote that as business owners, you should be a member of 2 or 3 different networking groups. I'm personally members of 4. We should all expand our network. I'm a member of 4. That takes me about half a day to 3/4 of a day a week. But actually, I get to regularly meet 200 people.
Yeah.
Steve, you produced that really useful brochure as well, the document for people who weren't familiar with networking.
Actually,
about
I must share that again.
How to network, because again, I think there is a misconception about people who don't network regularly, that they're going to be thrown into this room, they're going to have to behave in a certain way, and work with people they're told, and it really isn't like that at all. And again, I think our event demonstrates that. You find people that you naturally migrate to, that you have common ground with, and they become business friends. And you trust those people, you recommend them, you often collaborate. You find that by helping people, they will naturally want to help you. So the art of networking, I think, is really important. Again, we work hard in our special events to facilitate that. So if somebody is new to networking, we will take good care of you, and you will have a good experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if you are new, we are trying to obviously attract people who heard about networking, not sure where to go. If you are new to networking, you will come across 15 very, very different networking styles in groups that are there. You'll get to chat to the people that not only own and run the groups, but people who help, who regularly attend those groups. There's no 60 seconds, there's no standing up and doing any of that at this particular event. It's very informal. As Paul's already said, there's this 3 main things that we'll do that morning. The speed networking, which is run by John from Omni Local, one of our networking partners. And that's just a lot of fun, quite noisy, but fun. But then you've got the round table, which Paul will run. And we've got some questions. You get the chance to tell a table of sort of 8 to 10 people who you're, a little bit about yourself, and then there'll be some nice tailored, easy questions. And then the final bit is the informal part, which our other partner, Paul Bridgeland, who can't make it today because he's networking. But he will be there looking after the informal networking room, which is also the place where all the other networking groups will be showcasing. So they will be there. So there'll be no one standing on their own, because all these seasoned network leaders will be out there looking after and introducing you to people that you want to know.
That's key, because if you're turning up and you're uncertain about how to go about things, look for one of us 3 for a start, and come over and say, "Oh, I'm new. You said come and find you." Well, yeah, come and find us, and we'll then get to chat to you, get you a cup of coffee, and find out who you want to talk to, and we'll know somebody in the room that will be your ideal fit to have a chat with. We'll very happily move you around and get you talking to people. So that would be really, really good.
Yeah, really good point, Alan. And so literally, we make it so the venue is easy to find at Surrey Sports Park, just off the A3. There's loads of parking, so you haven't got anxiety or worrying about getting parked up. And then as you come into the sports park, there will be someone there to meet you and to make sure you're booked in. And then you'll basically come up to the room, and there'll be someone there to meet and greet you. And you can either have a quiet cup of coffee and get yourself settled, but when you're ready, we have our informal networking, and there'll be people there to look after you, to introduce you to some different people. So it really is designed to make it as straightforward, as comfortable for you as possible.
Yeah,
and a bit of fun. We have a bit of fun, don't we?
Oh yeah, and we've got the fun element as well, with the sports park adding in that sort of like the fun networking bit as well, as a sort of 4th activity. Steve, perhaps you could, if you can dig out your document, perhaps we can put it in as upload it as a comment to the recording of this, so that people could download it to find out a bit more about how to go networking.
I will probably send it to a LinkedIn guru who will probably have to put it up for me. But
that'd be absolutely fine. I'll put it up there for you.
the document which we'll put out.
And also, to help people get the most out of the day, we are going to run another LinkedIn Live with a panel of a few networking experts, which Paul is going to chair for us on the 4th of July, a couple of days beforehand. So in order to get you in the mood and make sure you're really focused for the day on the 6th, on the 4th at 2 p.m, we'll have another LinkedIn Live where we'll have a sort of panel of networking experts. So I'm going to be putting that event up live shortly. I'm just trying to finalize the panelists so that we can get that up and running. And then if you've got any specific questions, you can put them in as comments on the post for the event, and we can make sure we get those answered as part of the panel as we go forward. Or you can message Paul or myself direct to make sure that you get your question answered by the panel. So that's going to be good. So really looking forward to the event. I know both of you have got busy schedules today. Steve, I think yours involves celebrating belated celebrations for your birthday. So not expecting to get any comments, not expecting to get any sense out of you for the rest of the weekend.
Quite right.
Networking with a vengeance, of course. Thanks for your time today, gents. And this recording for this will be up and running immediately we finish. So please share. If anyone's on the call here, please share it far and wide and tell people about it. And let's make the next big networking event as successful as, or even more successful than the last one. Thanks for your time today, guys, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Alan.
Thanks, Alan. Thank
Bye.
you.
Cheers.